Hello, hello, hello. It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Successfully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal professional butt kicker. I am just so excited. I'm so excited. Like, I don't know about you all. The holiday was so awesome. I got to spend some time with my very close friend and sister and in LA and just had a really good time. And so like it's a long short week already. But we wanted to make sure that we connected with you all because we are really excited that we have a new theme for the month of July, and that's all around accountability. And the reason why we chose this theme is the idea that we're a little more than halfway through the year, so we still have the rest of July and the rest of the year to make this the best year ever. And one of the tools that will help you achieve your goal is accountability. So before I get into what I want to cover today, I just want to, again, thank you for joining us. I want to thank you for being a part of this community. If you are new here, we really, really pride ourselves on supporting coaches and consultants and getting 20 new clients in 12 months or less. And so if that sounds like you, we have several ways that we work with clients. Raise your hand. You are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We want to support you, whether that's through resources and trainings or even our own coaching programs. So I hope that we can add value and that we can be there for you because we want to see you scale. You did not start your coaching or consulting business to be mediocre. You started it to make an impact. And so part of making an impact is being consistent, is having a roadmap. It's executing at the highest level. It's showing up and playing full out. And we want to support you in doing that. So once again, welcome to the Corporate Escape Route. Once again, welcome. If you're new to our community, say hello, raise your hand. If you're new to what we do here at Success Bully, again, we're happy to answer any questions. Okay, and so I think before we get into DIY accountability, so like how do you hold yourself accountable? I think we really have to have a definition of accountability, right? So oftentimes I think accountability pops up in the conversation when things have gone badly or when things are not didn't turn out correctly. Someone needs to be held accountable. So like if there's a major oil spill and someone needs to be held accountable for that, or if there's a change in legislation or a change in leadership, someone needs to be held accountable. Accountability is often attached to something negative, a negative outcome, so therefore someone needs to be punished. Someone needs to be punished for this. Accountability is often looked at as punishment or a beat up stick. It is a way to slap your knuckles or slap your hands for bad behavior. And I want to just challenge you to think beyond that. To think, yes, accountability can be used as a tool to balance the scales in terms of you did the crime, you have to be held accountable, there is punishment for said crime. Or you misjudged, you made a poor decision, you have to own the results of that decision, and therefore you're being held accountable. But what I want you to think of accountability as is a tool rather than a punishment. Think of it tool, as a tool to help you achieve your goals. It's not, it doesn't have to be this conversation around what you did not do and therefore you need to be punished. Accountability can be used to celebrate the actions that you have taken to get to the big goal. Accountability can be used as a form of transparency for yourself, but also for others, right? That you can bring others along in the process. Accountability also is a form of data collection. Accountability is a form of data collection. And, men and women lie, but numbers don't lie. And with enough data, you can make informed decisions. When you have, as my mentor says, elegant data, you can make informed decisions. And you can invest in your future based on the data. You can look at what doesn't work and avoid it based on the data, or you can see what really works and double down on it. So I want you to think first of accountability as a tool. And so before you start getting into the more complex forms of accountability, like having an accountability partner or starting an accountability circle, starting your own accountability group, working with a coach or a mentor, and so that it's transactional accountability where there is a cost for said accountability. The first layer, the first piece of the puzzle is being accountable for yourself. And so that's why we call this DIY accountability, right? Um, Before you can leverage other people and get, bring in a whole community, you first owe it to yourself to hold yourself accountable, right? You owe it to yourself to be consistent. You owe it to yourself um, to show up. You owe it to yourself to do the work, right? You owe it to yourself. And so I want you to just consider that accountability is a tool for greatness, but there's three things, and I call these are three C's. So I love alliterations, alliterations, acronyms, and the like. You'll hear a lot of that from me. There are three C's that I want you to consider when we first start with yourself. And so we're going to start with the man in the mirror. So, starting with yourself, the first piece of accountability is having clarity. Clarity, right? So, having that clear objective. What is the goal? What is the goal? And so, I oftentimes, with my clients, I like them to pick a North Star goal. And so when you think of all the things you want to accomplish, right? All the things you want to accomplish, pick the one that has the highest impact for you and double down on that. Put all your time and energy there because the organization, the time commitment, the consistency that it takes to achieve that banner goal, that big goal, that will show up in other places of your life as well, right? So first, have that clear objective. So oftentimes, if you're pulled in too many different directions, you're going to be chasing what I like to call those white rabbits. And in trying to chase many white rabbits, you catch none of them, right? If you just look how a rabbit scampers away, how quickly they could just get away from you. So I want you to think of what is that one marquee banner North Star goal that you're going to focus on for the next 6 months, right? What is that big thing that you're going to accomplish? Pick one. And so the first thing is having that clear objective, that clear goal. And then care enough about it. Care enough about it that you write out a plan. At the beginning of the year, there's so much work and I even see parties around vision boards and goal setting exercises. I want you to take it a step further and gift yourself with a game plan. So when you have this big goal, what's the game plan to get it done? Right? What is the what are the steps you're going to take to get it done? So that you never sit down and never know what you're supposed to do. I don't want you to sit down and not know your next logical step. So part of that clear objective is caring enough to break it down into steps, to break it down to a plan. And so the second C in that DIY accountability is caring enough to be consistent. Caring enough to be consistent. Be consistent. Take daily actions towards your goal. And so I want to talk to my emerging entrepreneurs, my side hustlers, my part-time coaches and consultants that want to leave their corporate careers. If you try to work on your business on the weekend, that is exactly what you're going to have. You're going to have a pastime business. You're going to have a you're going to have a hobby that may not lose you money because you do your hobby on weekends, right? So I want you to touch your business daily. And if that's just 30 minutes before you go to work or 30 minutes after work, touch it every day because that consistency builds a compound effect, right? Daily actions, you start forming habits around it. And the reality is, your business is always 90 days ahead of you. So we're talking 90 days of consistent action, right? So if you only pick it up on the weekends, there you're not giving yourself enough action to create momentum. And so there's that concept of the flywheel and that's in the book Good to Great. The concept of the flywheel is like you get it going and you put this effort in on the front end and then it just starts spinning and it kind of takes on a life of its own. And it's more so you're feeding it and lightly touching it to keep it going. And at a certain point, it takes on a life of its own rather than, every time you stop or you put it down, you got to start all over trying to get that flywheel going. So it's a lot easier to maintain momentum than it is to start and stop. And so that's why I say consistency. Be consistent. Now, I'm not saying you have to spend hours and hours every day on your business, especially if you work full time and you have a family, but try to do something every day. It's the compound effect. It will add up over time. There is not enough work you can do on the weekend that will have a great enough impact for 5 days of not touching it every week. There's just not enough you can do over the weekend um, to carry that's going to make up for you not looking at your business during the week at all. So kind of think of your business just, you got to do it. It's like brushing your teeth. You got to do it. You just got to do it, you know, multiple times a day. But like, yeah, so a consistency, right? And give yourself grace and space if you're just getting started. Don't think that you're going to go out here and you're going to do 75 lives during the week. You're going to post all these stories. You're going to have all these consultation calls. You're going to talk to hundreds and hundreds of people right out of the gate. Kind of like training for a marathon. Building a business is very much like running a marathon. Not that I've run one, but you got to train. So, like when you're training for a marathon, maybe you start with a mile or 2 miles to start with. Then you work your way up to that endurance. You get the strength and the capacity to do more. The same thing with your business. You start where you are, and then you add a little more every week, and then you get the strength and the capacity and the endurance to do more. Right? Because at a certain point, once your foundational pieces are in place for your business, it's a numbers game after that, right? It is, there is a certain number of contacts you need to make, a certain number of consultation calls you need to have. There's a certain number of people you need to talk to every week to generate sales. And so there's a math to it. So if you aren't doing that first piece consistently, you can't expect the second and third pieces to have any consistency either, right? And so clear objective and consistency. And these are things that you can do to um, to hold yourself accountable. Have that clarity. Be very clear about what you want to get done, what you want to accomplish. Be consistent. Touch it every day. Touch it every day. And then finally, count it. Count it. And so, what do I mean by count it? Track your progress. Track your progress. Track your progress daily. And what do I mean by that? Measured number grows, right? Um, your tracking is the ultimate form of of accountability because you are caring enough to write down what you've done and what you haven't done, what you complete every day. You care enough to do that. You're invested enough in seeing this through. You're invested enough in seeing your progress. You're invested enough in seeing that while the outcome is you want our new clients, there's a lot of work that goes into getting those clients, right? And so it's a form of honesty and transparency with yourself It also is data capture, right? It's a data capture. And with data and math, you can make better decisions for your business. You can see what works. And I know this even from like my journey in weight loss, that sometimes we have a bad day, we eat the ice cream, and then we don't want to track our food diary. We don't want to track our intake, or you don't make enough, you don't connect with enough people, so you don't want to track it because you're embarrassed, or you don't have enough consultation calls, so you don't track it. Okay. I want to tell you, track your good days and track your bad days. Track those mediocre days. Track those days where you did just what you said you were going to do. That is all data. Because if you had a really amazing day, that was probably because you were incredibly consistent for many weeks leading up to that incredible day, right? Or if you had a really bad week, there probably were several days of underperforming that led to that bad day, right? Or, a bad day, you can look at the data and go, okay, what made this so bad? What would I do differently? How can I adjust? When you have the good day, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to be doing? And what do I need to be doing to duplicate that really amazing day, right? And that data, that 90 days worth of data can change the trajectory of your business. 90 days of data, and you can go, okay, by the end of that 90 days, you really should have some stuff working. You can figure out what you can fine tune. You can figure out what you can give up. You can really um turn the dials a little bit. So if this worked well and I did this kind of activity, what if I did just a little, what if I dug a little deeper and I did just a little more, right? And so counting it, tracking it is a form of DIY accountability, right? That is the if you're waiting for somebody else to track it for you, I'm going to tell you they're not. They're not going to do that for you, right? But if you care enough, if you care enough about your goals to take look at that plan and check off what you have accomplished, what you have done to move it forward, right? You can course correct when you're actually tracking where you are. You know if you're on target rather than blindly shooting in the dark, right? And so when we think about that DIY, accountability, holding yourself accountable, clarity, having a very clear goal, and I say a North Star, have one. There's only one North Star in the sky, right? Have one big thing that you're putting your energy towards. And two, um, consistency, showing up every day, doing something every day. Don't wait till Saturday and Sunday to work on your business, or don't wait until before everybody goes to bed and you're giving your last little bits to your business. Get up an hour earlier and get that time in before you start your day. Give your best to give your brightest best work to your business to start with, right? It'll have a better impact than the little schnipples of time you give it after you've given yourself away to everybody else. That didn't sound right, but whatever. And then finally, that counting it. So tracking your progress, caring enough to write down what you do day to day, what actions you've taken, and looking at the outcomes, looking at that data to make those informed decisions. Now, if you need additional support, whether it's tracking, whether it's defining your North Star, whether it's coming up with that plan, I can't leave this call without extending an invitation. Right? I want to extend an invitation that if you need support with any of those areas, that's our secret sauce, that's our claim to fame. Reach out. You can always book a strategy session at successbully.com/call. Everyone in this community has a personal concierge, and I'm sorry that I didn't say this at the top of the live stream. Everybody has a personal concierge. If your first name begins with the letters A through M, Sai is your personal concierge. If your first name begins with the letters N through Z, Lucille is your personal concierge. Now look for friend requests from myself, Lucille, and Sai. Look for messages from us. We are sharing resources. We've got 5 years worth of data information and trainings and best practices to share with you to help you skip the line. So you're not trying to figure everything out the hard way by yourself, right? So you can book a strategy session. You are more than welcome to connect with us at any given time. We are so grateful for the work that we do here. We're so grateful that we can make an impact. I had two phenomenal calls today where I hope that those ladies step away and get started and take action, right? I'd love for them to work with us, but more importantly, I'd love for them to do it for themselves. I would love for them to take that action and run with it and grow their practices so that they can have their freedom, their flexibility, their financial resources, and all of the good things that come with entrepreneurship when it's done right. So, again, book a strategy session. I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Let's get after it.